What's happening, people, and welcome back to LoreBoys. We're back inside the building with another discussion that I'm very excited to get into. You got myself, Kovu, Man Like Marauder in the building.
Yes.
What's happening? I hope everyone is doing okay. We're going to get into a really interesting discussion next. Obviously, this channel is focused primarily on lore. That's what we like to look at within TV, films, and, of course, games as well. And we're diving into the kind of gaming side of things more specifically today. Not necessarily the lore of a game series, but a game series based around lore. Which is quite exciting.
In a way, this is like real life lore.
Yeah, this is real life lore around gaming, around Marvel.
Yeah, there we go.
We're looking at Marvel games, basically.
We're going deep.
We're going to look at the sort of what the future holds for Marvel games. Now, I've noticed this over the last sort of, I want to say 5 to 6 years. There's been a real push from Marvel in regards to gaming, whether it be mobile gaming, whether it be the Marvel's Avengers game, which obviously had a big push on it, and then it kind of got hit with mixed reviews, not particularly great reviews, to be honest with you. Yep. We saw recently the launch of the Guardians of the Galaxy game. We've obviously seen the Spider-Man series, Miles Morales getting involved in there. Spider-Man 2, as you said, has been announced, which is really exciting. And we've seen a number of other announcements on the way as well. Again, where do you kind of stand with Marvel games just from the jump? Because I'm always very kind of skeptical. If it's not the Spider-Man game on PS2,
what, Spider-Man 1 or 2?
I don't know. No, it might have been 360. There was a game on Xbox, Spider-Man game on Xbox 360.
No, Ultimate Spider-Man.
I don't know. You had to deliver pizza. And you had you could swing around.
Was it like cartoon style?
No, it was a proper one. It might have been PS2.
That sounds PS2 then.
Because no, the PS2 one you had to fight Vulture and you had to go up this really long circular tunnel, and it was really, really aggravating.
I don't think I ever finished that one.
I've played near enough every Spider-Man game over the years, but there was one early one with Spider-Man where you could literally just spend all day swinging around, and it was like this one, but it was nowhere near as. If you went somewhere and started a mission, you did that mission, sort of thing. But a lot of it was delivering pizza. There was a lot of like you'd pick up a pizza and go and deliver it. Like it was good fun. Yep. The original Spider-Man game, a personal favorite of mine, the original one on PS1, which started off with you running across building tops and you had to had to web the plane to stop it taking off.
Thing is, like, because I'm a couple years like younger than you, that like came into my life when I was very young. I think the first time I played that game, I must have been about 5 or 6, so that is like proper, core memory vibes when I was like a child and like going around my mate's house, and my mum wouldn't let me have Spider-Man because on the back there was a big what is black gooey creature.
What was your first experience of Spider-Man? Do you remember the first time you saw what Spider-Man was?
No, that's X-Men. No, what's the Spider-Man? Radioactive spider blood. That one.
That was mine.
That one. Yeah.
That was my the animated series was 100% my first one. It was. I loved it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it.
I remember watching that when I was about.
And then I started getting the original comics. I remember I had a Vulture comic. Really? I had a Rhino comic. But these were the paper ones that you bought in shops.
So yeah, no. In fact, that's the same with me. I had the Ultimate Spider-Man from the start, the first couple issues, because that first launched in 2000 when that would have been. I'm not gonna say, so you don't know exactly how old I am, but so
I don't know exactly how old you are.
Well, even more reason not to then. Let's keep it a mystery. But I would have been an age then that was quite young, and so I mean, since then I've reread all of Ultimate Spider-Man. I absolutely loved it. But again, that was like rebuying that first issue. I remember I bought it not that long ago. It was weird because I hadn't seen it in almost 20 years.
I remember there was they used to have crosswords in them back in the day. They used to have crosswords.
Seeing the advertisements in the old ones are really funny because you see like all these like discontinued sweets and like all this weird stuff.
I mean, with Spider-Man, obviously that's probably the longest running game series, and it's been a different creator every time. They were always exciting. Obviously, Spider-Man is now in the Avengers game as well. Obviously, we're looking to the future of Marvel gaming. Personally, I think it seems a little bit scattered at the moment. It feels like they are just kind of throwing a lot of stuff and seeing if any of them stick.
Seeing what sticks, exactly.
Obviously, we've seen this new Wolverine announcement. I don't know too much about this personally. There's a new.
Not much has been announced about that.
Is it just the name?
Just like about a 20-second teaser trailer of just him at a bar, and it's like it's a CGI trailer. It's not actual gameplay or anything. So honestly, who knows? But I think honestly, Wolverine is a really good place to build a game from because he's not
OP. He is OP, but he's not OP.
It's just a really strong starting point, I think, and especially if they don't hold back. I remember there was that Wolverine game years ago that was an 18, and everyone loved it just because it was so much fun, just being Wolverine and just
chefing.
Yeah, just raining havoc, just being absolutely raucous.
I mean, we've seen this. There's a new sort of Black Panther-based game been announced as well. I don't know too much about this. It's just
I hadn't even seen this.
It's been sort of rumored. It's sort of been floating around Comic-Con. I don't know if it is confirmed or not. I haven't seen an article entirely about whether it's confirmed or not. But again, it's an interesting one purely because there's a big focus on Wakanda in the Marvel's Avengers game at the moment. Yep. We've also seen the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which I haven't played, primarily because of it seemed to be very similar to Marvel's Avengers, and I'm not a massive fan of Guardians as well.
No, it's definitely not at all even close in its actual like gameplay and concept. But I mean, I have it. This is terrible. I have it. I haven't played it yet, and I've had it for months. But I've been stuck on Elden Ring, so just,
fair enough.
Allow me on that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like no, it's way more of like a linear RPG type. Not even RPG. It's like a linear story game.
Okay.
With just like combo combat kind of thing.
Okay.
I think Avengers, although it had a storyline, it was more focused on the kind of just like...
What was the storyline in Avengers? Was it that they broke up because they dropped a bridge or something?
They broke up because, yeah, the world just completely detonated, and then Miss Marvel gets them back together to get their name back on track. I never even finished it because I didn't really like it. I think you have my copy, actually.
I do, it's down there.
Yeah, exactly. I played it for about 4 hours, and then I was like, no, Jay, do you want this? didn't really land for me, to be honest. Too much just stamping on people as Miss Marvel and not enough actual just other things.
Yeah, man. I mean, any sort of smash and what is it called? Hack and slash.
Yeah, it is
any
that
kind of
thing.
hack and slash game, which is what most Marvel games combat will eventually divulge into.
Yeah.
As most games do divulge into hack and slash eventually, unless it's like combo based or.
Well, that in fact comes on something we were going to mention is the Ultimate Alliance series is very much like that.
Yeah.
It's a Dynasty Warriors type hack and slash thing. That's something I do want to see come back, but I don't know. I mean, it's a successful franchise. Who knows on that one? But I think even the Wolverine one, I really hope they don't make it like a hack and slash type thing. I hope there's a bit more like
sneaking it out.
Or just if they integrated a few different styles of gameplay in one game, I think that'd be really interesting.
Assassin's Creed elements would be quite cool.
Oh my goodness,
that'd be quite cool.
Oh my goodness, that would be amazing.
Like an Assassin, because they did
open world Wolverine game.
Yeah, open world Wolverine game. I mean, they did it with Lord of the Rings, and it was terrible.
What? Shadow of Mordor?
It's awful.
I love. Well, the thing is, I'm not a massive Lord of the Rings fan, so I
anything Lord of the Rings that is almost anti-canon, I struggle with, and that's very anti-canon.
So yeah, I'm not knowledgeable widely about Lord of the Rings. I loved those games.
Yeah.
But I think I loved them not as Lord of the Rings games. I loved them as just games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, we're looking at this. I know you're a big fan of the mobile game series as well. I used to play Contest with you, actually, a fair bit.
Yeah, we used to sesh Contest.
We used to play it a fair bit. I got really annoyed at the fact that I just got stuck in the same level, and it just got very, very boring.
He couldn't face the grind.
I did. You didn't see me, but I did. And it was not fun. It was really boring. It just got very, very boring, which any sort of mobile game does eventually become quite boring. It becomes about the grind a lot of the time. However, you seem to still be very much loving Strike Force that you play.
Yeah. So, I mean, I carried on playing Contest after Jay stopped for a good while, and
I went back to it as well and was playing for a while, and it just didn't get better.
No, I mean, it's especially hard coming back to it now because you've missed so much. There'll be like so many different new game modes and stuff. It's all a bit overwhelming. I had the same thing coming back to it. I tried to restart playing it, and it just wasn't happening. So there's the three main like Marvel mobile games. There's Strike Force, which is the one that I still play to this day and have played for honestly years at this point. Contest, and there's Future Fight, which is the one that I have no knowledge of / want to play. It's never really interested me. But Strike Force, I absolutely cane because it's quite a passive game. Like you can kind of grind away without actually having to be that involved, I guess.
Yeah.
Which it works for me because I'm happy to, just be like, right, every minute or so, just tap something, and I'm like, cool. I'm getting levels. I'm doing stuff. I'm getting money. It's all good.
Getting money.
Yeah, literally. It's just passive income.
I mean, Midnight Suns is a game that has been kind of previewed. I'm just going to move this around on here so we can have a look at what the sort of trailer holds. I'm pretty sure Ghost Rider's involved. I'm pretty sure Wolverine's involved.
New outfits, and they look amazing.
Midnight Suns Marvel game.
That's the one.
Let's have a little look at this on here. Yeah, the image on this one looks quite interesting.
Got Blade.
Yeah, so you've got Blade, a version of Iron Man.
It's the I think it's the one that's like where he's like a hologram in the suit.
Okay, cool.
I think it's that one. Don't quote me on that.
Is that Scarlet Witch?
In the middle? No, it's
on the right.
Oh, on the right. I don't think so actually. It might be, but I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't aware she was in this.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the full cast.
And there's the new main character is a new character.
Oh, is it?
Yep. I can't remember the name of her offhand. She's called like the priestess or something like that. It's like one of those kind of names. And yeah, she's a brand new character. She seems really cool. She's part of the sort of like
is it Lilith?
Is that
saying on here? Lilith, mother of demons, has been revived by Hydra through a
no,
twist of dark
so
magic.
that's the antagonist.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be the antagonist. And then you revive this person who becomes a good guy to fight her.
Okay. So the playable roster includes Iron Man, Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Blade, Ghost Rider, Magic, and Nico.
Oh, Nico Minoru. I didn't even know she was in this. No, I love a bit of Nico. She's sick. Yeah,
the Hunter.
The Hunter. That's
what together they resurrected the Hunter.
Oh, you
Lilith's
know what?
Forsaken Child.
I went with the Priestess. That's not far off. I feel
They sound like Time Lords.
Yeah.
The Priestess and the Hunter.
Oh,
that'd be quite good.
Sounds like the name of a film. Yeah. But yeah, so she's a new character.
A
and
terrible 7th version of the Alien and versus Predator franchise.
The Priestess, the Hunter. Oh yeah, let's not even get onto that. But yeah, she's cool. She's part of the whole sort of like sorcery world, mystic stuff. It's always good to see a bit more of that. We get to see all these like alternate outfit versions of all these main characters, which is really cool.
I do quite like the color scheme. I've always liked black and yellow as a color scheme.
They have all new like power sets as well because of the stuff they're getting. Like you get to see a clip of Spider-Man like throwing like fiery webs and stuff.
Very nice.
Yeah, and the style of gameplay. I mentioned this to Kovo earlier. Like it's all like strategy based. It's like a card like turn based kind of thing. If anyone knows like Slay the Spire, it's kind of I think a little bit like that, but with a bit more movement in the world. So you can kind of move your characters around, and then it's like AOE based, kind of. So when there's someone in range, you can then fly at them and attack them, and it's all about positioning.
I mean, this also says on here, combat will be turn-based, similar to the Fire Axis game series. Between combat missions, players will be managing their upgradable base of operations called the Abbey, which they can walk around in a third-person view to explore the grounds and interact with other heroes. So there is obviously 2 elements, which is quite cool.
I'm all for it. I love like these kind of games, and thing is, this sounds like the kind of game I would play anyway. And then the fact that it's a Marvel game with a lot of my favorite Marvel characters, like Ghost Rider's in there, Blade's in there. I did not expect Nicki Minoru to be on there. She's not one of my favorites, but it's a really interesting one.
Keep thinking you're going to say Nicki Minaj.
Mate, imagine that. The big bad, turns out. Super bass.
But yeah, I mean, this looks interesting. It's not necessarily my type of game. I've never really been one for sort of card-based game-related stuff, but it does look quite interesting. And again, I just love seeing different lineups on games like this. I love seeing the different squads that kind of come together. One thing I do want to touch on is an ongoing scenario that I've been seeing. I'm an avid Fortnite player. At some point, you'll probably see it pop up on this channel. I play every single series. Obviously, there has been very Marvel directly related series. For Infinity War, they did bring Thanos into the game, and there was a whole game mode basically on Infinity War where you could play as the Avengers. But every single season since then, there's been a Marvel tie-in. So last season, you could get the Prowler skin by doing side missions, by doing things that Prowler would do, like stealing, like opening tills and stuff like that, which was quite cool, and like different challenges. And Doctor Strange was like the lead for last season, which is quite an interesting one. The season before that, it was Spider-Man, who was like the character you could get, and you could get all his alternate suits and things like that.
Am I right in thinking Carnage was in it as well?
Carnage is a skin you can buy.
Right. Okay.
Carnage was a skin you could buy. And again, this is what Fortnite are very good at. They must have a deal with Disney of some kind, because every single big thing that comes out, the skins are there.
Yeah.
The skin, like when Kenobi came out, the skins were in the store, but Darth Vader is the one you can get from the Battle Pass.
Well, I think at this point, it's any franchise or company's
it's an aim to get you.
Well, it's like the biggest game in the world. Like, you know, it's a bad move if you actively don't want to do that.
Yeah, if you've got a character that takes a human shape,
yeah,
get them on there. I know Ahsoka's going to be on there.
That'd be cool.
Ahsoka will be on there. Andor will pop up on there. Just forthcoming stuff. She-Hulk's already in the game.
Oh, really?
And she's not made an actual MCU appearance yet. She popped up in the full Marvel series. I think they brought in Thor. They brought in Jennifer Walters. You bring in
Jennifer Walters.
Not Jennifer Walters. Jennifer. What is her? Is it Jennifer Walters?
She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
It's Jennifer something. It's Jennifer. It's definitely Jennifer something. You get her and you can physically change into her. They brought in an Iron Man skin where you can physically change in game as an emote and change into the skin. They brought in Groot. You can run around as Groot, which is good fun. And you can get Rocket as a backpack, so he's like floating around behind you, which is really good fun. And since then they brought in loads. Like when Venom came out, they brought in Venom. There's like 3 or 4 different Venom skins you can get.
Not a lot more than I thought they had. Actually,
if I was to turn this on right now and show you, which I will do, the full list of Marvel skins and Star Wars skins as well, to be frank, that I've got. It's outrageous and it's mad. For No Way Home, they brought out a Tom Holland skin and a MJ skin.
Oh, MJ, really?
There's an MJ skin.
Okay.
There's a Venom skin you can get, which is Eddie Brock as what's his name? I can't remember the guy who plays him at the moment.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, that's the one.
Oh, I nearly lost it on that one.
You know when you feel like when you're leaning back on a chair and you feel you go too far, and then once you've gone. It's not coming. We
can't have a lore-based channel and not remember Tom Hardy between us.
But yeah, you can get. There's a skin of him that you can get where it's him in like a baseball jacket, and then you emote, and then the thing goes over.
That's cool.
Okay, it goes over the top. But again, that's something that's going to carry on. I think obviously the characters in Marvel tend to be quite humanoid in shape a lot of the time, because obviously it's suits and it's armor and things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So they'll all tend to continue tying in. I wanted to quickly, just before we round this video off, because this has been quite a long one, I want to talk about 2 game modes that I'm very keen to see. I would like an MMO of some kind where you pick your powers at the start, you pick your sort of design, you pick what your sort of way of doing things is going to be. Open world, you can go to different worlds.
I think, both Marvel and DC have been wanting to do this for a long time, and neither of them have succeeded.
No.
Like, it's something that I think is really hard to do.
Well, Star Wars have done it.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings have done it.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
No. Lord of the Rings did it. Lord of the Rings did it a long time ago.
Yeah,
as well, same with Star Wars.
There is an X-Men one, but it's not an MMO. There was one where you could. It was an X-Men one where I think it was on 360. You could make your own X-Man and you could give them the whatever skill set and power set, and then make them look however you wanted. But yeah, as you say, it's not an MMO. It's not. I feel if you were to
do this, do you remember on Miniclip years ago there was that Robot Wars game?
No.
Everyone I knew used to play it, but you basically it was Robot Wars, and you basically played and you upgraded your robot as you went, and it was on a rooftop, like the actual fight bit, but you spent so long trading parts and stuff.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it would be. You get your character at the start, you get the things, and then you can obviously unlock different skills for your things. The better you get.
Start off with a shield, gun, end up with.
Yeah, and you can
Iron Man armor.
Yeah, you can upgrade your weapons, but there's almost there's 12 different alleys you can go down. Whether it's mutant, whether it's tech, whether it's inhuman, whether it's sorcerer, any of those things.
I would love that in any type of Marvel game if they just did it right. Like if they made Marvel's Avengers, there is a level up system, but if they made it a bit more now you unlock this actual new power. Now you can
rather than a little bit more accuracy or something.
Yeah, rather than now Miss Marvel can fling her feet around rather than her legs.
Yeah,
it's now actual toe kicks rather than shin kicks. Or
no,
I want an actual upgrade.
Yeah,
now I can use Wolverine claws. I
tell you what did that really well. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. did it really, really well.
That's another one I've got it wrapped up on my table. I haven't played
genuinely, it's one of the best Star Wars games I've played. Because there's bits where you're like, why can't I do that? Like there's bits at the start of the game you can't use your saber in the air. And you're going the entire time like, why can't I do that? And then suddenly you clock it, and it's something you unlock near the end.
Yeah.
Because you fight a lot more things that are flying at you. And then it's like, I've unlocked it now, and it feels like refreshing.
I'm going to be playing that soon, I think, because I've finally sort of rinsed out Elden enough.
Good. Definitely Fallen Order. It's a really good one, and it's an official Star Wars story as well.
Yeah, I heard that,
and it ties into the lore really. It ties into the Inquisitors really well. Which is the main sort of plot line. But yeah, with the MMO, I definitely think it's doable, especially now with the amount, and they could do it MCU specific.
They could, yeah.
And I think it'd be better with all the different planets they've now been to in the MCU, and that you could go to Ego's world before Ego goes mad, and you could just end up there, and he's just walking around in the background.
It's like a big boss planet.
Yeah,
where you're just fighting him.
You could go to like on different planets. You could go to Wakanda. You could go to and you could do quests in game. Like you have to find the Infinity Stones. That could be like a really late on quest that you actually have to do, and then you do it, and then you do something like there's so much they could do.
Yeah, 100%.
Or think of all the different sagas and things, and how much they could bring in DLC to relate to what's happening in Marvel at the time.
They could do it like Monster Hunter style, and then just as you say, keep adding in new things.
Like every sort of series developed
add a temporary event or something like they did in World of Warcraft, isn't it? Like
they could add temporary event. They could add in sort of temporary power upgrades that you can get. Like for this time, you can use this. Similar to Fortnite, they do it where there's like different guns that are in the game for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Definitely something they could do. Another sort of ropey one. I don't know how well this would work, but RTS sort of style games. I love RTS games.
We were speaking about this, and this is definitely like your kettle of fish.
I just like factions in lore. I've always liked factions. I like the idea that you have this group, and they make that, and that, and they play that way. Then you've got this group here, they play that, and they use that and that.
The thing is, I like myself the odd RTS. I played a lot of Civ back in the day. I love that. And I get that concept. I don't know how well it would work with Marvel. I know there obviously are factions, and there are, you could divide it up. I just am not. I'm not sure if they have it in them to make it good.
Yeah, I think because the thing with Marvel is it's so much based on sort of power stats, isn't it? It's based on this person can fight 1,000 of this faction and it be normal, which is one of the reasons Halo Wars didn't really work too well.
I didn't mind Halo Wars, but
it felt like this thing versus all of these, and it's one of the main criticisms people have against Battle for Middle Earth as well, the Lord of the Rings games, because the heroes can just take out so much. You can play with just heroes and win if you're good. If you're good at the game. But again, there's definitely something that if you can get Battle for Middle Earth to work, you could definitely get a Marvel style thing to work where they've built nations. In Battle for Middle Earth, they've built nations out of a city.
I don't know if they would ever do it, but it would be cool because the whole thing in the comics, the Shi'ar Kree like 1,000-year war or whatever it is.
Yeah,
you could have
elements of that in there.
I was saying even just a Shi'ar Kree RTS game.
Yeah, probably.
Like that would work in my mind because that in a sense, I know you said doesn't really work, but it's like how Halo Wars was.
One faction versus
Covenant versus I can't remember what they're called now.
UNSC.
That's the one. So yeah, like maybe it could work like that kind of thing.
And I think there is definitely room for it. There is definitely room for it. But anyway, we'll wrap this one up here, guys. Thank you for watching. This one has been a slightly longer video, but it's always fun to do. Make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button at the bottom of the page, turning notifications on, of course, leaving a like, leaving a comment, all that good stuff. We have been LoreBoys, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.